Did you know? For 18 yards.
We're in a wishbone formation with the split end to the bottom of your screen to the right. Matt will fake inside the mic and then pull it out and give it to Chad, and he'll break off left tackle and down the sidelines for a nice pickup.
Knowlton races 21 yards on an option from Matt.
And we're in a wishbone formation again here, Jeff, with the split end now to the left side. And we'll fake again inside to Mike. And then Matt pulls it up and comes down the line and does a nice job on the pitch to John, gets a block from Chad Weber, and then takes it down the sideline to about the 10-yard line.
Mike has a super effort on this 12-yard touchdown run, Coach.
In this formation right here, we're in a strong backfield to the left, the wing to the left, and we'll give it back to Mike off the right side. And he breaks back, cuts across the grain, and does a nice job, running more like a halfback than a fullback, and takes it on in the end zone for a touchdown.
Mike Linehauser stakes his claim to this week's Hit of the Week.
On this play, Mike does a nice job reading and comes quick across the line of scrimmage with a good stick here. We didn't have any kind of blitz on, but he just did a nice job reading, come up, and a nice stick here and for minus yardage.
John Knowlton on a 40-yard punt return.
After stopping them on defense here, we field the punt, get a nice wall. John comes to our bench, cuts back inside, picks up three nice blocks, and takes it down the sidelines, and was stopped by the last defender, frontier defender there, but puts us in great field position.
Matt hits John for a 25-yard reception, touchdown.
Here out of a pro I set, John's out wide to the left, and Matt will throw a quick out to John out in the flat. John does a nice job catching the ball, eludes a defender here, and then eludes a couple more frontier tacklers and takes it on into the end zone for a nice touchdown, catch and run.
John only carried the ball 4 times all night, but he made the most of each carry, 73 yards and touchdown.
Yeah, this is a big one, and we're going to be trapping over here to this side. Steve Shoemaker puts a nice trap on their end. Shane Dunn gets a nice block, and John accelerates and takes it the rest of the way down the sidelines for a great touchdown.
Steve Shoemaker and Ty Schwal combine on this good kickoff coverage.
Chris Dalrymple did a nice job of kicking the ball the entire evening, and here he gets the ball deep. And Steve and Tyrone have done a fine job all year covering here. They both converge on a frontier return man for a good tackle.
John Knowlton, 22-yard run.
We're in a Liz formation here with a slot to this side. And we'll give the ball off to John to the outside here on a toss sweep. And they kind of strung it out a little bit, and he makes a cut back to the inside and then breaks outside, eludes a couple would-be tacklers, and breaks off a real nice run.
Rick Russell makes a nice catch on a pass from Matt.
This is one of the nicer plays I felt of the evening, and I was really pleased with this, Jeff. We're in a rip formation, a slot to the right. It's not a deep pattern. It's not a touchdown. It's a simple curl pattern, but Matt does a nice job. Our offensive line blocks. Ricky goes up, makes a nice catch, and picks up about 15 yards. Just a nice inside curl move.
Here comes a very rare occasion, Coach. 2 passes in a row. Joey Seidler, 18 yards, almost a touchdown.
Yeah, we must have got our game plan mixed up here, Jeff, and thrown the ball 2 times in a row. But here Joey's split out wide to the left. Now the wishbone formation, and Matt will drop and throw the quick out. Joey makes a nice catch and then takes it down the sidelines and just about got in, but he got 1 foot out of bounds before he got it in the end zone. Nice catch.
Mike Linehauser, 3 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, again, we're in a wishbone formation. And this is another big play inside for Mike. He'll take it off right guard, and a lot of momentum and a lot of effort. And you see our offensive line just come off the ball there and push Frontier's defense back into the end zone. Nice touchdown, nice blocking by our line.
Mike Linehauser on the takedown, 2 points and a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah, I know Mike's got a future in football. He may have, after this, a future in wrestling. Does a nice job here slamming a Frontier ball carrier down to the ground.
Shue and Chris Lynn combine on a fine defensive pass coverage.
They send a man in motion and try to throw the ball to the outside, and both Chris and Steve do a nice job of breaking it up here.
Steve Powell on a quarterback sack, loss of 8.
Yeah, Powell does a nice job here. He's come in and played a couple different positions for us, defensive end, linebacker, and here he does a nice job when they tried to fake on a 4th down situation, and we throw him for minus yardage and get the ball in good field position.
Matt goes to the air again, this time to Rick Russell, 18 yards.
You know, on this play, we got Ricky out wide to the right. We're in, again, a slot formation to the right. And this, again, was one of the nice passing plays of the evening and really developed real well. Again, we got good protection. Matt steps up, drills the ball into Ricky on a little square in route, and he does a nice job going up after the ball.
Passing game's really on track, Coach. Second time you've thrown 2 passes in a row, this time done, 13-yard reception.
Yeah, we're getting tuned up. You know, we might throw 20, 25 times this week. And here we'll fake inside and then hit Shane on a little dump route right here, and he's got somebody right on him, but he makes a nice catch and takes it downfield.
Mike Linehauser, 10-yard touchdown.
And we're in a wing right, strong right in the backfield here. And again, Mike does a nice job getting it in. Matt will reverse out here, give to Mike. He brings it back to this side, a couple nice blocks off the left side, and then Mike shows some acceleration and takes it on almost virtually untouched.
Chris Lynn comes up with fine interception, a good return, and a good shot at the end.
They try to throw the ball in the middle here, and Chris steps in front, picks it off. Didn't see this tackler coming up here. Takes a pretty good shot to the leg, but he did a nice job of intercepting and nice job holding on to the ball.
John Knowlton, 25 yards, touchdown.
And we're in a slot to the left, what we call Liz formation. John's a tailback here. Matt will reverse out, give the ball to John. He cuts it back to the inside and then breaks it outside, does a little high stepping, and tiptoes into the end zone for touchdown.
Ricky Russell returns a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah, this is one of the few times Ricky's been back on punts, but does a nice job here breaking to the inside of the field and then cutting it back to the left, finds the wall, and takes it all the way down the sidelines for a touchdown. Great punt return on Ricky's part.
We'll be right back with this year's seniors. Friday night over Frontier. Yeah, nice pass reception for 18 yards, and you just about got in for a touchdown. Was it a letdown not getting in?
It was a big letdown. I wish my shoe size was 1/2 size smaller, but I would have been in then.
You just barely stepped out. That is a shame you stepped out. Joey, this is an emotional week for you guys, and it's your last regular season game. Just what kind of emotions are going through you this week?
Well, ever since I was younger, I've always dreamt of being on the high school team and playing in the Bellsville ball game, and I never expected it to be this big, and it's really big, and it's really emotional, and everybody's really excited about it.
Big game this week, right?
Yeah.
Big game. Okay, we'll be right back with Ty Schwall. Ty, congratulations on the victory Friday night. Defense just keeps getting better and better. My question is why? How you guys keep getting better each week?
Well, I feel it's because we've all got used to playing with each other for so long, and it's just like a team effort. We've all just got united real well.
Okay. This is the last regular season home game, plus it's Bellsville. You know, just give me your feelings about this week.
It's our last home game. It's very emotional. I just feel we're just going to have to play your heart out because this may be the last one for home.
Okay. Ty, we'll wish you luck Friday night against Bellsville. Thanks for coming. With us now is Jeremy Cook, offensive and defensive tackle. Jeremy, just want to congratulate you on the good game Friday night, all-around game by everybody. And want to ask you, we're 9-0, and big game coming up, and just want to ask you, what's it like being part of a 9-0 team at this stage?
Well, being on a 9-0 team is a great feeling, and it just makes you want to go 10-0 and finish out the season without a loss. And pressure of being 9-0 just makes you want to play better.
Okay. Your comments regarding this week's game with Bellsville?
Well, as everyone knows, this is a big game. It's a big rivalry that we always have every year. And I think we're not going to take them lightly, and we'll just play to our best capabilities and see what happens.
Shouldn't have any trouble getting ready this week, should we?
No.
Okay, Jeremy, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Good luck Friday night against Bellsville.
Thank you.
With us now is offensive and defensive tackle Kevin Stewart. Kevin, I just want to congratulate you on Friday night's game, Frontier. And I've got a question for you as far as what do you think is this team's, so far this year's, greatest accomplishment?
Well, I think it's combined accomplishments between the offense and defense. The offense having its great scoring drives and the defense having 6 shutouts so far.
Describe to me the type of week this is for you guys and just kind of what you go through. And
Well, I feel it's a big week. It's our final game, and if we win it, we're 10-0. We just got to be up and ready for it physically and emotionally.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and good luck Friday night against Bellsville. With us now is Dalton Summers, offensive guard, defensive end. Dalton, congratulations on a complete team effort Friday night against Frontier. You're pretty much an emotional leader on this team, and what's it like this week emotionally getting ready for the game?
Every game, every week's really emotional. You always get emotional for every game, but probably needless to say, this is going to be the most emotional game we'll play for, well, up to date so far. It'll be the most emotional game we play. And the tension's really high, and it will be all week, especially right before the game and whatnot. But emotionally, our best bet's just everybody will be up, and we'll be emotionally ready to play the game.
You sense yourself getting emotional sooner for this game than you do the other ones?
Yeah, definitely. We probably got we got emotional for this game at the final seconds of last week's game. So we've been looking for this one for a long time.
Okay. What's your comments on Bellsville? Tell me about that.
Bellsville's a team that you never want to take lightly, like a lot of teams. You never want to take any team lightly, but Bellsville, with us, it doesn't really matter what the records would be, if they would be 0-9 and we'd be 9-1 or vice versa. It's always going to be a good game. So you always got to be ready for Bellsville. They got a good team. They always have a good team. So I think it'll be a good game. They're a good team.
How important is this one this week?
Real important. We got a lot on the line, like the ABAC and the PBC, and just being 10-0 is something to say, something big to say. So this is probably the most important game so far, like all of them are.
Dalton, thanks for coming. Wish you luck Friday night against Bellsville. With us now is Mike Linehauser, fullback, defensive linebacker. Mike, I want to congratulate you on a fine game against Frontier. I just want to ask you, are you looking forward to this week, Mike?
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to it very much. It's a very big game, and I feel if we win this one, we'll be PVC champs and OVAC champs.
Is this the big game? I mean, they've all been big all year, but is this the big one?
Oh, the biggest of them all. I feel that everybody's up for it, and we should get the job done.
Tell me a little bit about your thoughts about Bellsville and the Bellsville game this week.
Oh, they're a very good football team. Good quarterback, good receivers. I just hope that we're up for it, which I think we are, and it'll be a good football game.
Good. Mike, thanks for coming. Good luck Friday night against Bellsville.
Thanks.
With us now is starting quarterback Matt Ludwig. Matt, just want to congratulate you on a good game. You completed 5 or 6 passes Friday night. We're putting the ball in the air a lot more. Are you happy about the fact we're putting the ball in the air more now?
Yeah, because I think it'll help our offense on down the road if we're able to complete the passes when we need to.
It definitely makes us more than just one-dimension offense. You guys were expected to do well this year. You have, but have you felt the pressure by having them expectations put on you?
Really, the only pressure we felt is with every game we win, it just makes the next game a little bigger.
Okay. Your comments this week about the Bellsville game?
Oh, it's definitely a big game. I mean, they're a real good team, and we can't take them lightly. And we're just going to have to play an airless game to win.
Okay, you don't think we'll have a problem getting ready for him, do you?
Oh, no, we should be ready.
Okay, all right. Thanks for coming. Good luck Friday against Bellsville. With us now, Steve Shoemaker, offensive guard, defensive linebacker. Steve, you guys just played a great all-around game against Frontier. Another shutout. You've on several tackles, I believe 14. The defense is just really shining the last 2 weeks. Are you guys really starting to gel now, getting things together?
Well, basically what I think it is that everybody's taking care of their responsibilities. There's not many flaws on our defense. Everybody's doing a great job, and when everybody does a great job, then our defense comes out on top and shuts them down.
Okay, is this a great game to participate in this week? I mean, is this kind of the ultimate that you want to have for a football game?
Yeah, I think it is. I've been, part of this rivalry ever since really junior high was a big rival. And it's just great to be in. Everybody's up for it, and we're going to have a good time out there.
Okay, that's great to have fun with the big rival. That's good. Your feelings about this week's game with Bellsville?
Well, I basically can't say any more from what the other guys said, but they do have a good quarterback in Dana Kelly, and they have a couple good receivers, and they have, I think, a couple good backs also. So we just have to shut them down and play a good ball game all around.
Okay, Steve, I want to thank you for coming. We'll wish you luck Friday night against Bellsville.
Thank you.
With us now is John Dalton, running back, defensive safety. John, congratulations on a good game against Frontier. Carried the ball 4 times, 140 yards, 3 TDs. The offense has really been explosive all year. What's your reason for why we've been so explosive?
Well, I think a lot of credit goes to the offensive linemen. They've been doing a good job pass blocking and opening up holes for us backs to run through, so they deserve most of the credit for our offense.
This is the last time that you're ever going to play in front of the hometown crowd, and it's a Bellsville week, so there's a lot of emotion flying there. But is there the emotions? Is there some sadness because it's the last time on your home field, or is it just total excitement because it's Bellsville? Just what's the mixture there?
Well, it's sad knowing that after the fourth quarter, it's going to be the last time that we ever play on our home field. But I hope it's a good memory that we can cherish for the rest of our lives.
Bellsville game, John. What's it mean to you?
Everything. It means everything. PVC championship, OVAC championship. 10-0. We just got to get the job done Friday night.
John, thanks for coming. I wish you good luck Friday night against Bellsville.
Thank you.
You going to be ready Friday?
Yes, we'll be ready.
The group of seniors, Jeff, they have been together since their playing days in junior high. In fact, probably even before that, during Little League time. And they have stuck together. In fact, that's one of the key ingredients they have displayed this year and really kind of passed off to the rest of the members of this year's team, the togetherness. They have worked together. They have gone through both good and bad times together. And it's just a great group of kids. And not only have they been together, but they have also displayed the leadership that you need from a senior group. Anytime you have a good football team, you can probably go back and directly link that to the leadership of your seniors. And this group I can't say enough about. They've been together and they've displayed that leadership, and they've just done everything we've asked them to do. You can't really ask much more of what this senior group has done and what they've done this year.
Coach, there's been comments made, I've heard several people make them, that this is a mature group of kids. That, I've heard several people, and even some coaches say, you're not just playing against kids out there, you're playing against some men. That's how mature they feel they are.
It is a mature group, Jeff, and I think that's actually evident by the fact that they're not a group that's vocal all the time and a lot of rah and so forth. They basically know what they have to do, and they go out week in and week out and get the job done. And I think that's, again, a tribute to their matureness and their experience, and they've just done a fine job all year.
I'd like to take this time to thank the seniors for a great record that they've got right now and for the memories that they've given all of us so far. We'll be right back with Jay's scouting report on Bellsville Blue Devils.
Hi, believe it or not, Perry and I are at high school seniors.
Record and who they played.
At this point, Jeff, they're 6-3. They've come on strong. They have 3 wins in a row. They opened their season up with a loss against Tyler, 20-6. They came back with a win against Bridgeport, 16-6. In the third game of the season, they lost to a strong Shayside team, 27-0. They came back with 2 wins in a row against Frontier and Waterford. They beat Frontier 43-7, and they beat Waterford 31-0. And then they lost to a strong Caldwell team, 41-21. But they have finished to this point with 3 wins in a row against Fort Fry, 14-10, a big win in the season for them. Shenandoah, 28-13, and this past week, 34-12 over Buckeye Trail.
Coach, they've got one of the better passing games in the Valley, and for a long time they had a very good wishbone attack that they used to throw at us. What can we expect from this year offensively?
Well, they have a fine quarterback in Dana Kelly. He's a kid that's come on strong. He's just a junior this year. He had a great year last year, passed for well over 1,000 yards, and had several touchdown passes. He's just picked up this year where he left off last year, and he's throwing touchdown passes. He can throw the short one quick. He can throw the deep pass. He is a threat to throw the big one on any play. And to go along with Dana, he has 2 great receivers, 2 young kids that have come on strong. Number 19, Ronnie Street, is a wide out and has had several big catches this year. And number 85, Todd Burke, is another wide receiver that just gets better and better every game. So their passing attack is awesome. I just really don't know, how we're going to stop it. I'm really concerned about that at this point in time. But they've done a fine job, and they've really come on strong in the last several games.
Now, Coach, when you say that, a lot of times people accuse you of saying, oh, Jay's just saying that. But I've been around you, and I know you well enough, but I've been around you the last few days. You're worried about that passing game.
You know when I'm concerned, Jeff, and you know when I'm not concerned. I'm concerned because, anytime a passing game is on, it can cause you fits, and this kid can throw the ball. If you saw him play last year, you know that. And these kids can catch the ball. So it's a concern of ours. I know they're going to come in, they're going to throw the ball all over the park, and we're going to have to be up to meet the challenge.
Do they have any type of a running game, Coach?
They do. They haven't run the ball a lot this year, but they have a very capable running backs in Jay Perkins and the Goddard boy. They both can run the football, and in fact that kind of complements their passing game. About the time you think that all they're going to do is throw the ball, then they'll come back and they'll hand off to one of those kids, and they'll pick up some valuable yardage. So they've actually developed a complete game here of late.
Coach, defensively, what do we expect from them? What types of defenses?
Well, they'll be in several different looks, but at this point in time in the season, we've seen just about everything, whether it's a 5-man front, a 7-man front, 6-man front, 4-man front. We expect them to give us several different looks defensively. They've got a couple kids that are real quick off the ball. Their nose guard is real quick off the ball. And, we're going to have to play well offensively to move the ball consistently against them. And we're going to probably have to mix up both the run and the pass. I know we've run the ball pretty much this season at this point in time, and I'm sure they're going to be zeroed in on trying to shut down the run. But we're going to have to mix it up in a little pass and a little run and try to do whatever they give us.
Now, you've thrown the ball the last few weeks. You've opened it up, started throwing the ball, and it's been effective. Is maybe part of that reason you've been gearing up for Bellsville?
Well, we know that sooner or later we're going to have to throw the ball. There's probably been a couple times this year where maybe we could have thrown the ball a little bit more, but when you have the running backs that we have in John Knowlton and Mike Linehauser and Chad Weber, it kind of makes the pass more effective when you run, and then sprinkle the pass in there whenever you need to pass. But we'll probably have to throw the ball, and this week we may have to throw more than what we've done in the past.
Now, Coach, I know that you feel, and I feel the same way, that this is probably the biggest rivalry in the state of Ohio. Tell me a little bit your comments on this rivalry and what it means to you and the team.
I've said this time and time again, Jeff, and I'm not, underestimating this at all. This is a great rivalry. Not only small school, but big school. I don't think, and I've been around. I've seen Massillon and Camp McKinley play. I've seen Blair and Martins Ferry. I've seen a lot of rivalries, but there's none any better than Woodsfield Bellsville. It's just something that you have to be in the communities during the whole week, not just the night of the ball game, but you have to be there the whole week to really get the feeling for the hype that goes into this game. It's a great rivalry, and I think that's what high school football is all about. If you've had an opportunity to play in a Woodsville-Bellsville game, coach in a Woodsville-Bellsville game, or just be a fan involved in a Woodsville-Bellsville game, you know what I'm talking about, because there's none any finer than this Woodsville-Bellsville rivalry.
Coach, do you think the fans take this game seriously?
No doubt about that. They take it seriously, no matter whether you're from Woodsville or whether you're from Bellsville. This is a game that everybody looks forward to throughout the whole year. I think probably week in and week out, people from Woodsville look at Bellsville and how they do every Friday night, and people in Bellsville look at Woodsville and how they do, and they kind of look forward with anticipation to that final game of the year. And there's a lot said before, and there'll be a lot said afterwards, but it's that 4 quarters and what happens and what unfolds on the field is really what makes it big.
Now, people come out for this game who don't even like football, isn't that right, Coach?
No doubt about that. There'll be people that maybe haven't attended a game, seen either team play all year, but they'll come out this week because the Woodsville-Bellsville rivalry brings out the best in everybody.
It's a pride between communities. Coach, this is undoubtedly a big Bellsville game. With all that's on the line this week, how does it compare to other Bellsville games?
Well, they're all big, and we've had some real great ones in the past, Jeff. I can go on and on and on just about the entire series of the Woodsville-Bellsville series, but I look back 1983, that was a big game. You know, both teams had an opportunity to win an OVAC championship, win a PVC championship, and both teams had a shot at getting in the state playoffs. And that game was played at Woodsfield, and that particular game we won, and we ended up winning an OVAC and a PVC championship and getting into the playoffs. It was a great football game. I look back in the last 2 years, you know, just to show you what a great rivalry it is and how you can throw records out the window in this game. 2 years ago, Bellsville had a super football team and came to Woodsfield, and our kids played their hearts out and gave them everything they wanted, and that game ended up 7-6. Wasn't decided until the last minutes. We scored with a little bit over 3 minutes to go and went for the win and came up a little bit short on the extra point, and they won 7-6. They had a great team. Last year, we had a great football team. We ended up 9-1. They were coming back on a rebuilding year. They gave us all we wanted. In fact, they had the football at the end, and they could have, you know, completing one pass, they could have scored and maybe beaten us 14-13, and we ended up winning 13-7. So that's the way it's been all throughout. It's been a good game. I don't think you can overestimate or overhype this game because it usually lives up to its billing as being a big one.
Coach, this one, as you just said, is a big one, but can you ever remember any one game? It comes down to the last game when there's so much on the line, and tell me, you know, a little bit about everything that is on the line here.
Well, at this point in time, an OVAC championship is on the line, the PVC championship is on the line, and even though we're in the state playoffs at this point in time, probably the biggest thing that's on the line is an undefeated season. And anytime you go through the first 9 weeks unblemished, it puts a lot of pressure on that last week of the season, and that's probably the biggest thing at all because everything else will take care of itself, but you know, this is a big one.
Coach, you were coaching when Dave Caldwell was a player over at Bellsville, and he was a great player. What type of coach do you think he is?
Dave's done a tremendous job in the time he's been at Bellsville. If you take a look at the records since he's been there, the program's been solid. I think this year is a great example of him getting the maximum out of his players. He never has a lot of kids like us, but their kids come to play. They're scrappy. They look forward to football, and he's done a fine job. Probably before this year started, a lot of people would probably really maybe actually feel that maybe they were going to maybe be lucky to have a 500 season. And at this point in time, they're 6-3, and he's done a tremendous job, and their kids have done a tremendous job this year.
Coach, you kind of answered my next question, but at the beginning of the year, everybody, the TVs, newspapers, and everyone were saying that Bellsville was going to have a down year. And are you surprised that they're so good?
I'm not surprised. I felt with a quarterback the quality of Kelly, and the receivers that they have, that I knew they were going to probably rely pretty much on the passing game, and I figured that those receivers would get better as the year progressed, and that's exactly what's happened. And Dana Kelly just gets better every week, and they continue to throw the ball with effectiveness. And so I'm not surprised that they're having the year that they're having. I think that they had a loss in there to Shadyside, but they came back with a couple losses, and then they had a loss to Caldwell. But I think the key victory in their season was the win against Fort Fry, and once they got that under their belt, they put together 3 in a row, and I think they're probably going at an all-time high now.
Yeah, they've showed that they can play good football by beating Fort Fry, which is a strong opponent. We'll be right back with our final wrap on Bellsville and an update on our playoff contention and an update on AP standings. We're here. Bigger game than this one coming up.
Oh, no, for us, there's no bigger game. This is one of the greatest rivalries that I've been associated with, maybe one of the greatest rivalries around in this area. So, no, for the Bellsville Blue Devils, this is the biggest game for us of the year.
Coach, you kind of answered my next question. Jay feels that this is the biggest rivalry in the state of Ohio, and Massillon has theirs with Canton and McKinley and things, but he really feels this is the biggest one in the state of Ohio. How about you?
Oh, I have to agree with him on that. I think it's an outstanding rivalry. There are probably half the county going to turn out for the game on Friday night, and they all think it's the biggest rivalry also. So, yeah, in my opinion, it is the biggest one in the state.
Now, Jay said that, there'll be people show up for this game that hadn't been to a Woodsville game all year. Do you have the same type of people from Bellsville?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's funny you should ask that. I was just in there in my class, and I said, well, I just wondered how many people are coming to the game, and everyone in the class put their hand up. And I've asked that question before, and maybe only half. But, if that's any indication of what's going to happen, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people there that's never been there before.
And the excitement starts right now. It doesn't start by Friday. We're here on Tuesday, and it starts right now, doesn't it?
Excitement's already started. It started Friday night after we beat Buckeye Trail. Our guys will start thinking Woodsfield, and the whole community's thinking Woodsfield, and, we're going to come over and try to do our best.
Coach, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people thought this was going to be a down year for you. A lot of the newspapers, George Kellis in his preview, he was saying he thought it was going to be down, and you surprised a lot of people. Just how good are you?
Well, that's yet to be seen how good we are. We'll find out Friday night. All we've done this year is we've taken what we do well, and we've tried to enhance it and do it as well as we can. And that's been our strong point, and it's working for us, and we're happening to win a few games with it.
Okay, Coach, just give me a few feelings about Woodsville.
Well, got a number of feelings about Woodsfield. One, they are a well-balanced football team, excellent coached football team. A lot of people think, they are outstanding offensive team, which they are. In my opinion, their strong points are defense. I think they've shut out 6 teams already this year, and probably planning on shutting us out also. And it's going to be a test for us to go over there and try to play a team as good as Woodsfield. It's kind of a thrill for us, too, to be able to play a team that's 9-0, undefeated, ranked in the state, made the playoffs already, and our #1 rivalry. So it's going to be pretty fun.
All the elements are in place for just a fantastic game. Coach, there's been a lot said about the playoffs. Where do you guys stand in the playoffs, and do you have a chance of getting in the playoffs?
I'd say we have a better chance to be struck by lightning than we do to get in the playoffs, because it is within mathematically possible to do it, but so many things would have to happen that it's unlikely that they ever will. So this is probably our last game. We might as well look at it as our playoff game for us.
Okay, Coach, I want to thank you for the interview, and good luck Friday night.
We're all...
That's who. Yes, a Demchek's BP. A game of this magnitude, do you change your weekly routine? I know you guys have a set routine that you do each week, but with everything on the line and a big game like this, and Bellsville's always big, do you change much?
Well, you don't change a lot, Jeff, and it is tough to prepare, and I guess probably the biggest thing is trying to get everything you want to get in a short period of time, in a few days. But we keep a lot of the same things, the basics. We keep the same, we'll do some of our blocking techniques and hitting the sled and some of the basic things offensively and defensively that we do every week. But then there's some things that you have to add, and there's all those bases that you have to cover, and you got to, I guess, dot all the I's and cross all the T's and make sure you cover everything in a short period of time. So it is a difficult situation. You spend more time looking at film, actually, before you get on the field from practice time. But we try to get everything covered by Thursday night, really.
Coach, you know, a lot of people would think you've been here 21 years and you've played Bellsville all those years, and I'm sure a lot of people think, well, he's probably got a book on Bellsville. He doesn't even need to watch films and go over the same thing. But I know you well enough to know that you never get laxed on anything, and you prepare very rigorously for all games. But why is it that maybe you just can't pull out last year's scouting report and go from there?
Well, even though, you know, we've done this for a number of years, personnel changes every year, and even though maybe the coach is the same, no matter what opponent you're playing, whether it's Bellsville or someone else, you still have to deal with the personnel. Sometimes maybe in one year they have a stronger running game and you have to prepare to stop the run, and in some years, such as this year, they have a very strong passing game, and you have to spend a lot more time trying to stop the pass. So each year is a different preparation, like each game is a different preparation.
Coach, this year our team's been a pretty dominating team. We've dominated on offense, dominated on defense. We've won a lot of games by a large margin. Do you think that there'd be any chance this week that you, the coaches or the players, could maybe be peeking ahead toward the playoffs? Because, you know, it's another big game the following week.
No, I don't think there's any chance of that, Jeff, because the type of game this is and the rivalry that we talked about, and the fact, really, you look at this game, and I'm sure Bellsville looks at it in the same respect, you look at this game as a playoff game, even though it's a regular season game. And I don't think anybody, players, coaches from either side, are going to look ahead to anything but Friday night.
Coach, you said earlier that, you know, this is kind of what it's all about, but would you like to be preparing for a game like this each week of the 10 weeks?
Well, I've said before, you like to play in the big games because that gives you that extra added incentive. But I don't know. I think it's sometimes harder on the coaches than it is the players, because they're actually out on the field and they're involved in defense and they're involved in offense all week. And sometimes it's a little more frustrating for coaches to kind of hold off, and it makes a long week and when you prepare for the big ones. But it is kind of nice getting ready for a game of this magnitude, because it's a challenge every year and every week.
I'd like to give you just a little bit of an update on where we're at in the playoffs. We're second this week behind North Catholic. We have 107 points. They have 123. And we still can attain the top spot in the region, but we have to have some help, like I said before, from Shadyside, Paden City, and some other teams. We're pretty much clinched second place regardless, because we're pretty far out in front. In the AP standings, we're third, behind Malvern, who's first, and Newark Catholic, who's second. We have 5 first-place votes, and we're only 32 points out of first place in the AP poll. So we're well within striking distance of #1 ranking in AP. In the Intelligencer small school poll, which you've probably seen by the time the show's aired, but we should be first this week. If we're not first, there should be a lot of phone calls to the Intelligencer. The team that was first, Steubenville Catholic, they've lost 2 weeks in a row, and before that they took 2 teams into overtime to win. So, you know, we should definitely be first there. First in the OVAC, first in the PVC. Big game, big week. A lot on the line, but there's been a lot on the line most of the year. Bellsville, for their playoff chances, realistically, they don't have a chance. They're mathematically, I know George Kellis on 7 said mathematically they're still alive, and I guess I have to say that too, but for them to have a chance, first of all, they have to win. Then every opponent that they've beaten this year, they have to win all their games. Bridgeport has to beat Cadmus, who's lost one game. Waterford has to beat Fort Fry. Although they would get 2 points if Fort Fry beat Waterford, they'd get a crucial 1/2 point for Waterford beating Fort Fry. Shenandoah has to beat Caldwell because they lost to Caldwell. Buckeye Trail has to beat Newcomerstown. And Frontier has to beat Garraway. And realistically, those are 5 games, and I don't see any of them teams winning. They got tough games the remainder of the season. Then to top it off, Shadyside has to lose to River, which that could happen, but then Shadyside's won 7 ball games. All 7 of their opponents have to lose, because if any one of their opponents, Bishop Donahue, anybody wins, that gives them 2 points, and that puts them ahead. Because right now, if Bellsville, the most points they could attain would be 84. The most points that Shadyside can attain by losing to River is 83.5 from their second level points. So if any one of their teams picks up 2 points, they're in. So the scenario for Bellsville getting in the playoffs is pretty much a fairy tale. As far as who we may be playing in the playoffs, it looks like Shadyside's got the front lead there, but there's a team, Heath, who has a shot of maybe slipping in past Shadyside. Coach, turning back to the Bellsville game, a lot of people like to know this. What time do you think they should come to get a seat out there Friday night?
Well, anybody that's been in a Bellsville-Woodsfield game in the past knows you better get there early. There'll be people coming in early, probably early as maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, and so it's expected to be a nice night from what the weather forecast is. It's supposed to be maybe in the mid-70s, and so with a night like that, that'll bring even more people out. So if people are going to plan on attending the game, they better get there early if they want a seat. Otherwise, they may be standing the entire game.
We may have a lot of sideliners out there Friday night. Speaking of the sideliners are having a tailgate party on Friday night, and they're going to be selling hamburgers right in the parking lot grass area behind the Ashland station. So they'll be there at 5 o'clock. For some of you people who want to come out early at 4:30 and get your seat, put your blanket down, you want to eat supper, go over to the sideliners, help support the football team, give them some business, and join in the tailgate, because I'm sure it's going to be a good time. One other note, next week's show is going to be another hour show. It's going to be a special, playoff special. And we're going to have the coaches on next week. We'll have all the assistant coaches, and we want to talk to them and get their comments for the year and comments about the upcoming playoffs. Coach, I just want to thank you for coming. Wish you luck Friday night against Bellsville. And I want to wish the Redskins luck against Bellsville. This is Jeff Waddell with Jay Sircosta for Woodsfield Sports Highlights. Be ready Friday?
Yes, we'll be ready.